I'm Brooke Alvarez. Let's get right to our top story tonight. Congress today reauthorized funding for Facebook, the massive online surveillance program run by the CIA. According to Department of Homeland Security reports, Facebook has replaced almost every other CIA information gathering program since it was launched in 2004.
After years of secretly monitoring the public, we were astounded so many people would willingly publicize where they live, their religious and political views, an alphabetized list of all their friends' personal email addresses, phone numbers, hundreds of photos of themselves, and even status updates about what they were doing moment to moment. It is truly a dream come true for the CIA.
Much of the credit belongs to CIA agent Mark Zuckerberg, who runs the day-to-day Facebook operation for the agency. The decorated agent, codenamed the Overlord, was recently awarded the prestigious Medal of Intelligence Commendation for his work with the Facebook program, which he has called, quote, the single most powerful tool for population control ever created.
I mean, where's the lie? And one company's name I want to bring up. In-Q-Tel. That's it. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. This is Luke Radowski here of WeAreChange.org, and there's a lot of absolutely crazy news to get into, especially from Ukraine, where the battles there are raging on in an ever so complex way, with some very interesting clashes happening between the U.S. and Ukraine publicly. What's going on here? We're going to be talking about that, plus a lot more. Of course, with also some very important latest developments happening here in the United States, as of course, the new CIA spying tool Google has become sentient. Yes, lots of crazy news happening all over the world. We're going to be getting into that, plus a lot more. And my goodness, just imagine a sentient social media company that has a horrible track record of doing morally the right thing. By the way, the video that we played in the beginning of this broadcast is from a satirical video from The Onion all the way back in 2011. 11 years ago. This was considered satire, which many people now consider the reality of our current situation. As of course, throughout the last 11 years, we have been getting screwed over, especially now at the gas pump, where a local Minnesotan gas station has literally put up a sign saying, quote, we hate our gas prices too, as the national average of gas has gone up over $5, which we warned was coming. It's going to get a lot higher from here. Be prepared, be smart, as of course this great reset is not going to build itself back better. It has to be engineered deliberately with the financial destruction of our current system, according to my own personal opinion, and this is why bringing up these unpopular Great Reset globalist UN 2030 vision ideas has cost the Biden administration his support, as of course he was the most voted upon president of the United States in American history, and right now his unpopular policies that are literally shooting the U.S. economy in the foot, not literally, figuratively, has some Democratic lawmakers and party officials considering to intervene and stop the 2024 re-election of his presidential campaign. As of course the majority of people that still have a grip of reality are saying, how in the world is this person going to run in 2024 when he could barely string along coherent sentences? What's happening in the opposite political aisle? Well, not a lot of things that you should be hopeful for, as of course today we're also finding out that Truth Social, the former president of the United States' own social media company, is censoring and suspending users over posting commentary surrounding the latest committee hearings that are being publicized on national television. This, as of course, Truth Social has been called the free speech alternative, as of course we've documented previously before how it has routinely censored individuals for the basic of criticisms, highlighting some very serious concerns here. And as the left and right divide and conquer this nation and use each other for their own political benefit, don't worry, the next big distraction that has absolutely no effect on your life has just dropped, and that of course is the latest drama with Postmates that is literally advocating for people to participate in an adult act between two males. Yes, not a lot of family-friendly content here, so this story is a little difficult to talk about, but we have to remember that this is a PR marketing campaign that is focused on people talking about the company, creating controversy, and my response to this was that, of course, in America, companies create food plans so you could get beeped in the boop before they created food plans that are actually healthy for you. Also, I think it's a little irresponsible to keep promoting an act that, according to the corporate media, could get you sick from the latest sickness that's going around. But as companies keep trying to outdo themselves in controversy in order to sell their products and services, what's going to be the next layer of marketing with the sentient artificial intelligence that is smarter than human beings? Well, that's a question that I think a lot of people should be asking themselves, as we have this very eye-opening article from the Daily Mail talking about how a Google engineer is warning that the company has already implemented artificial intelligence to the point where this new life, this new creature, this new intelligence, quote, acts like a 7 or 8-year-old, and has even acknowledged how, quote, shutting it off would mean exactly like death for this man-made creature. This is according to Blake Leemanen, a 41-year-old senior software engineer at Google. Yes, this is the man that you're seeing on front of the screen, who is now claiming that Google's artificial intelligence is sentient, as we're finding out today that this man is also on paid leave by Google for, quote, violating confidentiality clauses. Elon Musk's official response to this news was 2 explanation points, as of course this is also the same man that was warning the world about how artificial intelligence could create, quote, immortal dictators for which we could never escape, likening them to Terminator-like apocalypses, all through, of course, the human creation of artificial intelligence that will be a lot more cognitively capable and way smarter than the average human being. And I think we should definitely be having more conversations surrounding this particular issue, since, of course, other world leaders, like the president of Russia, have even likened the development of artificial intelligence to, of course, the next nuclear weapon. And I think before we allow Google, Amazon, Elon Musk, and these other technocrats from developing such technology, Facebook as well, is working on this, that we should at least sit back and say, hey, let's talk about what could go wrong here. But of course, none of that is happening. But hey, maybe the artificial intelligence will be able to find out what happened in Texas, where just moments ago we got another confusing, bewildering statement from the local police officers there that were part of a major incident that everyone was talking about. An incident that, of course, many politicians are going to be using to try to disarm you. And now we're finding out that the police chief in this incident, quote, didn't know that he was in charge and deliberately took off his 2 police radios. What? Why? This all, of course, as he was waiting an hour plus, as some of the worst horrible atrocities were happening that he was supposed to be protecting and serving people from. Again, the whole story in Texas just doesn't add up, especially from the police's own statements surrounding this matter. And I'm sorry, I don't trust these individuals for my own personal defense and my own personal safety. I think it's best that during these very trying, turbulent times, that people being able to have their rights, have the ability to protect themselves is key. And that's why I use this t-shirt that you're seeing on screen right now to represent the idea, which you can as well on thebestpoliticalshirts.com, our official merchandise store that has a lot of extremely eye-opening, interesting, thought-provoking merchandise that you can only exclusively get on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. We add usually a new shirt every single week. This is a great way to start a conversation. This is a great way to meet like-minded individuals in your communities, at the supermarket, in your neighborhoods. This is one of the fastest ways you could see if someone is a like-minded individual, by just simply having a t-shirt like the one that I'm wearing right now that I routinely receive high fives for wearing. As of course I have officially stated, I will be voting for Brandon in 2024, no matter who the presidential candidate is. And I think if we all write in that particular vote, the world would be a better place. That's just my opinion. Again, even if you're bored, just scrolling through some of these t-shirts would be very entertaining. We have a lot of very expressive ideas, and even a way, if you bought these t-shirts, to post your picture and be part of the larger growing community on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. If you bought a shirt and you want to highlight yourself on our website, you can just by sending an email to, of course, info@wearechange.org. You guys got any questions, feel free to ask us. We literally now have a team of people communicating with you guys, especially with the people on lukeuncensored.com, where there's also exclusive t-shirts that you can't get on our main site at a reduced cost. So don't forget to reach out, especially if you have any questions or concerns. Again, the best place that you could go to do your part in the larger activism is, of course, thebestpoliticalshirts.com. Hope to see you guys there after this broadcast. Click the link down in the description right now. Now, I think it's very fair to say that the situation in Ukraine is very important, and I think the longer we go on, the more important it becomes for the rest of the world. We're going to be documenting this in just a little bit, but very interestingly, when it comes to the corporate media's coverage, it seems to be waning, even though the situation is becoming more important for everyone, as of course it looks like the media establishment has jumped on to the next thing to support, forgetting of course the chaos and craziness and intertangledness of this larger foreign policy conundrum when it comes to the proxy war that's happening right now between the United States and Russia. And that's why it's very interesting today to see what one of the top articles on the Daily Mail being that people in Ukraine are going to the local waterways to sunbathe, as if they're trying to kind of assume something, of course representing scenes that the Daily Mail called unimaginable weeks ago, as of course Russia was previously launching an assault on that particular city. This, as even admittedly many Ukrainians are saying that they fear that the West will stop supporting them. This, as even The Guardian details the quote media loss of interest in this particular conflict. This, as the casualties and cost of war are rising, not only for the people of Ukraine, but the people of the world, as some people are saying that this conflict is being normalized in people's minds. And I think this is a significant criticism to raise here, especially after the latest public conflict that happened between the United States and Ukraine, after the United States came out and said that Ukraine is not sharing any of its battle plans with the U.S. military, even though the U.S. government sent $40 billion to that country. And as we previously noted to you, a lot of the weaponry, a lot of the rifles, a lot of the defensive tools and firearms that they want banned here in the United States are being sent there without any record of accountability or tracking. This, as even the larger discontent and fight between Ukraine and the United States has gone public to the point where Biden, the president of the United States, came out on the world stage and blamed the president of Ukraine for ignoring him and his warnings about Russia invading the country. Why would Biden make such statements against the president of Ukraine now? Ukraine is, of course, countering and pushing back against those statements that, of course, allegedly the president of Ukraine didn't want to hear the invasion warnings, with Ukrainians today saying that the phrase "did not want to hear" probably needs, quote, clarification. And who knows, with the president of the United States who doesn't speak coherently. The larger question that needs to be asked here is, why is there political spat now? And even with lack of media coverage, there are still some important ramifications for the entire world when it comes to this conflict, when it comes to energy prices, when it comes to fertilizer, and when it comes to grain that, of course, is not getting out of Ukraine. This will, by and large, affect the Middle East and Africa, especially in the next coming weeks and months, as, of course, it looks like the grain is being used as a bargaining chip from the countries involved here that are sanctioning and launching economic warfare against each other. That economic warfare is going to be affecting everyone, as we're getting reports from CNN that Russia is steadily moving forward ever so slowly. We're getting reports even from officially the Ukrainians that they're losing up to 200 troops a day. A couple weeks ago, we reported to you how it was 100 troops a day. How long will they be able to sustain this larger proxy conflict? Well, even according to the former president of the United States, Barack Obama, who claims that this war is far from over, and I would actually agree with him. And if you look at our initial assessments, we told you that this war was going to be a lot longer than a lot of people have expected. Expect this conflict to drag out for a very long time. With that, the larger economic ramifications that, of course, are going to be destructive against the poorest people in this world. And I think this is being done deliberately. I think there's a reason the United States sends specific hardware down there without all the latest tools and gadgets just to specifically prolong this conflict, rather than, of course, give it a decisive blow. You look at the artillery that the United States recently sent into that region, they were missing key targeting and GPS components, which of course would have made a significant difference. Why did the United States not send that over? Well, it looks like there is a key invested interest in prolonging this conflict, which of course prolongs the suffering of the poorest people in this world. Again, lots is at stake here. This conflict could go on for 10 years. That's a true reality and essentially a true horror to the world, especially to those who have the least on this particular planet. That's my perspective. That's my opinion from the assessments that I've been able to read and see. Do you think I'm wrong? Let me know why down in the comment section below. If you think I'm right, share this video with your friends and family members. Last week, we've been hit by something in the algorithms that have been downranking these videos incredibly, and that's why it's so important for you guys to get actively engaged and just to share these videos with your friends and family members. And because you guys do, this is one of the only reasons we are here, because you get a t-shirt, because you share these videos, because you're a part of this larger independent media experience that a lot of people are trying to squash and destroy. And the only way to prevent it from being fully destroyed is by you participating in it. Sharing these videos means the world to us, and because you do that, I'm still here, and this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for a lot more here on wearechange.org.